Good evening, ladies and gentlefolks. Welcome to another episode of Tenuous at Best. As you can see on this lovely man over here, we have Zane, who looks exasperated due to technical shenanigans, and we have a new Technicolor D in the corner as well. Zane, are you all right there?
Welcome to the last ever Tenuous at Best, as hosted by XSplit. They can go fuck themselves.
Hold on, did somebody not put down a wager that we would be 10 minutes late?
I think Native J has already won 50 quid,
Yeah,
so I think Zarak's going to have to pay up. Sorry,
It's
Zarak.
exactly 10 minutes late.
Maybe Native J's got shares in XSplit. Now we're on to something. There's a conspiracy here.
Therefore, we're exactly on time, so it all pans out in the end.
Yeah.
It does. So welcome back, guys. The last podcast we actually did was a bit of an obscure one. We're calling it episode 22A, I think, and this is 22B. The episode 22A was us playing Cards Against Humanity, which I think worked audio-wise. We'll do that once in a while. We played a bit of Snake Oil at the weekend as well, which was hilarity. That's a word. Fuck it. So yeah, I was a thoroughly good laugh. But we need to stream that at some point. But yeah, so we are back. We have video game news, we have movie news, and we have our rantings and reviews on such things as that. In the chat so far, I believe we have just got the J so far. Yep, no one else has piped up, so we'll see who else butts in and are ready to go. So, starting off, Zane, other than technical mambo fucking Jimbo, how are you feeling? Are you in a good place?
I am not too bad. I think we're going to manage to get through an entire episode without any Zane rants. I think we're going to do it. It's going to be Zane, start to finish. I think mainly because there's fuck all to talk about.
And you've already said you hate XSplit, so you got it off your chest.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, I suppose I did kind of blow that in the intro, didn't I? No, that was quite calm on me. That was quite relaxed. That was just a kind of matter of fact fuck XSplit. But yeah, all good.
You're good. All right, D. I like your kind of weird Microsoft inverted colours vibe. It's good.
Yes, I am being sponsored this week by hideyourbeard.com. So yeah, new webcam, new position, new filter. You're still not seeing my lovely, pretty, ugly face.
That's a crazy look, but it is giving girth to your beard. You should actually get a neon yellow beard. You'd kind of be like some kind of acidized version. Oh, you nearly gave it away there, D. But yeah, no, good to see you boys. It's been a long time. I say it's been a long time, probably about 40 hours or something since I last played a game or chatted to one of you guys. So moving quickly onwards, shall we get on with the news of the week?
Yeah, because
there's tons of it.
I'll take
your fucking loads of it. All right. Well, actually, the first thing that's in the notes is something that intrigued me. Zane, you posted you can now buy the HTC Vive via installments.
Apparently, I only just spotted this today in my desperate bid to try and find news for for this very show. But it's quite a cool wee idea. Apparently, instead of just paying, I don't know what the US prices are at the moment for this. This is our kind of UK, but over here anyway, rather than paying 750 quid for the full Buna for. So what is it with that? Is it 3 lights? It's a 3 light stand you get with that one?
Well, it's a funny one because it shouldn't still be that price because it's only 600 for the Oculus with the 3 sensors and the touch controllers.
Well, here's the thing, but it was cheaper than this, and then we sort of had this kind of really weird vote over here.
That's fucked us. Okay.
That we would do something kind of weird about like telling Europe to go and fuck itself, and we were going to go alone, and we were big and strong. And one of the very first companies that went, "Oh, is that right? Actually, we're going to have to charge a bit more for that now." Was the HTC Vive? It went from about 650 up to 750.
Because you can still get the Rift in this country for 600 for the lot.
Yeah.
Weird.
Aye, but they were one of the first to go. Aye, let's fuck you over with this Brexit nonsense. Well, actually, no. We were the first to go. Let's fuck ourselves over this Brexit nonsense. Then they just get you get the picture.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Zane. Oh.
it's got to be a tough one. So apparently, So at the moment, it's £750, £749 for the full package, which is the headset, controllers, and I think it's 4 now. I think about it, sensors that you.
Yeah, it's for what are they called, lighthouses.
Yes. So they are instead saying that you can now basically pay up over a 2-year period at £35 a month to get it that way, which works out more expensive. It means you're paying almost an extra £100 by the end of the 2 years. It costs you £830 rather than £750.
That's not bad, and it's manageable.
Aye, I mean, it's as far as interest rates goes, it's, rather than trying to stump it £750 in one go, if you ain't got that kind of money and it's going to take you a year or a year and a half to save that kind of money, then you might as well just do this and have it 2 years early.
Aye, but the only
£35 a month.
The concern I have with that, though, is that it sounds like they're sticking with this generation longer than they were intending. Because you think about it, like, if you, like, for example, I just renewed my phone contract, and because I'm trying to make a film, I went for a bloody fruit device, right? But
yeah,
it's a fruit device, or if I went for, like, an Android device, whatever. That is a good look. If, like, I went for that device, but I know for a fact I'll have this for. I'll have this for 6 months and there'll be a new one out. So spending for 2 years on a VR headset, mobile devices are something we use day in, day out. VR headsets, I genuinely still think if you have to pay it in installments, don't buy it because you don't need it that much.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean,
if they bundled it with something, like if they bundled it with your internet provider, or if they bundled it with your Xbox Live or your PSN, then I think it's got a little bit of kind of kick to it. Give you like Xbox Music, or give you Spotify and PSN, give you like 2 or 3 services with a VR headset and charge £35 a month. That makes more sense because it's kind of quality of life improvement stuff, whereas just buying a VR headset for £35 a month does make it accessible, but that is a lot of money if you don't need VR.
Oh yeah, no, of course it is, but I mean, £750 a lot of money, and no one needs VR.
That's very true. That said, I cancelled my Sky, and when I cancelled my D, what are you doing? when I cancelled my Sky service, they decided Sky in the UK is like Verizon or whatever, whoever does your kind of cable TV. When I cancelled Sky, I was paying £80 a month. That was my broadband and my DSL service and my TV. Yeah. I pulled the TV out of it. Said, I don't want a TV anymore. I just want to leave the broadband service. Thanks very much. And what ended up happening was they went, all right, that's fine. You want to cancel. They then turned round about 4 weeks later and says, oh, you've cancelled, but what if we give you all your package back but charge you £25? I went, well, you said I could keep my internet for £26. Yeah, so they knocked £1 off and gave me all my TV package back. I would happily throw that Sky package in the bin and get a VR headset, 1,000%. If you can find something you can cut out of your monthly costs, shout at it, go for it, great fun. But I don't think, I'm not poo-pooing the idea. I think the idea of making it accessible at all is fantastic. For a family, for example, you've got kids and you want VR, brilliant, go for it.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, at the moment, your analogy is confusing a product with a service is the thing.
So that's the way I look. That's the way I look at things that you pay monthly for. I think of as services because everything that I pay monthly for is a service. Mainly because I don't buy things on finance or like normally. Yeah,
well, I mean that is the thing, but I mean it's not. It is the physical item that you're buying. It's not, which is worth £750, and they're just giving you a way to pay it over a monthly instalments, which makes it a bit more expensive at the end of the day, but makes it easier to get immediately. It's not like a continual service that's going to be updated and that you're paying for ad infinitum. My God, big words. Do you know what I mean? So it's it's like going and buying your next telly for Argos and putting it on their card and paying it up over 6 months rather than. Do you know what I mean?
It's no different. Yeah, that's true. I think that's more down to what I'm used to as opposed to what I would do. I mean, yeah, because I mean, I even now, as much as I love my VR rig, if somebody says to me, "How do I get into VR?" I'd say go and buy a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Just
I
don't fan about it. Go and buy a PlayStation VR. Go and buy a PlayStation. The experience is exceptional. Go and do it because it's something you can stick in your living room. This shit, I love it, but my God, it's a lot of faffing about.
Oh, completely.
You know what kind of machine I've got, right? And I've put people onto the demo experience and had frame drops. And you're going, come on, get fucked. There's two very heavy graphics cards in that machine, and it goes, oh, I'm not sure. You're like, fuck you. But yeah, I think VR is great. But I mean, yeah, it's good that at least somebody's turning around and saying, how do we make more people able to access this until such times as the price comes down? I think that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, as for the whole it's binding you in for 2 years kind of thing, yes, it is. But how many people are going to buy the? It's not like phones, or it's a service and it's heavily subsidised. It's like if you buy a headset, chances are you're going to be keeping that until it breaks. Quite frankly, like unless you are absolutely insistent in being on the cutting edge and just being a constant and consistent early adopter, you're not going to buy the next one that comes out and the next one that comes out. You're going to use it until it's no longer usable, and then buy the latest version of whatever's there. Because
that's true.
Again, it's like you've got to think it closer to your TV than you do your mobile phone.
That's true.
You don't go out and buy the next iteration of TV unless you really need to, until like yours is basically showing everything in monochrome.
Unless you're me.
I mean, there will always be some kind of outsiders out there, outliers. That's what I'm looking for. Outliers.
Both.
Aye, I can
Side liars.
I can do ad infinitum, but I can't do fucking outliers. Do you know what I mean? So it's
yeah.
I think it's again, not really. I think I would be the same. Like if somebody was saying, how do I get into the VR? My answer is probably buy the PlayStation, buy PS4, and buy a PSVR.
Are you not talking like $750 for the PSVR and the PlayStation?
I know, for the whole caboodle. Aye, just about.
So that just makes more sense, I think. And again, like you said, there are services like Argos. There's a lot of finance companies out there that will do you the lot, and it'll work out probably cheaper than that. So
I'd say I'm not sure. I mean, I would need to check, but I think it's actually a pretty decent deal. I think I've not sat and calculated what that would be as an interest rate, but it can't be that high. Like I don't think that's.
No, if you sign up,
I don't think that's too bad.
If you sign up as on an Argos card now, at any time, if the first card, because I did it years ago, you get 0% interest for a year, so that's manageable. It's not far off that. As somebody that doesn't have VR, does the idea of paying like £35 a month, in the respect that you were the kind of person that went, I would really love that in my house, would you find that more palatable?
No.
Why not?
Simply because I wouldn't see it as a service, but paying the monthly subscription would make it like you're paying for a service, and for some reason that makes it worse than shelling out for about £700 worth of gear.
Again, is that down to I think what Zane was getting at earlier as well, is that down to the fact that we are like a couple of guys in their 30s with disposable income, we don't have kids and stuff, and spending £700 on something you really want isn't impossible, but in the respect that if you had a lot of financial responsibility and you had, say, £200 of floating income a month, would you say, do you know what, I'd think about it that way? Assuming that you wanted VR, of course.
If it was something that I desperately wanted, then yes. I mean, it's like, as you were kind of mentioning earlier on with regards to TV and so forth, I could, with minimal pain, I could give up my Virgin kind of TV at the moment. Yep. So that, in theory, could pay for it, I suppose. But I don't have that great of a need for VR at the moment, so the initial pull for that as a product isn't enough to get me interested.
Yeah.
I mean, I
do an update with regards to kind of VR headsets and so forth, because I tried something. Am I alone with this?
Yes, you are.
Tried on Microsoft HoloLens 2 weeks ago.
Ooh.
This is stuff. This is good podcast stuff right here.
Yeah. So through work, which I'll leave the other two guys to imagine. I had
strip clubs need HoloLens.
yeah, baby.
What?
So I had Pleasure, a company come in that was basically kind of demonstrating what that could do for us as an organisation. So had on quite a kind of lightweight kind of set. It's not tethered because it doesn't have the same amount of throughput of data that it's producing because it's the augmented reality rather than actual full virtual reality. So it's not tethered. It doesn't have the kind of the big kind of like screens instead. Again, it's like kind of more projection rather than that. So it's a lot lighter, it's a lot more comfortable as a result. And the interaction that they set up for the demo, including kind of objects and creating videos and files, I suppose, was very impressive. So between actually kind of physically demoing it myself and seeing the usage on kind of YouTube and so forth, I can see that as being something that's going to be more relevant than VR.
I found that an interesting argument because the thing I think with VR is that people talk about AR, and I think about myself, for example. I sit in this little room that I call a studio that's got where I make music, where I design things, where I fart about, whether I'm kind of gaming or I do a lot of different things in this room. If I was running AR in this room, I'd think, well, what great experience can I have on my desk today? Whereas in VR, you put your headset on and you're in another world, and that's why I don't fully understand the benefit of AR. I understand that it would be, as a productivity tool, more effective, but I still think VR has a place. I would happily have my Oculus on this side and my HoloLens or the Acer or HP equivalent on this side, but I'd never see the AR take over the VR so much, because in a gaming term, you're looking at projection, as you say, you're not looking at that kind of side of things. So I don't know, it's an interesting one. But HoloLens for you, did you see it as before you tried it, did you think, oh, that's not really that important? And when after you saw it, did you think more, this is an important move forward?
No, I would say after the demonstrations that I'd seen, just kind of Microsoft stuff, and there was a private kind of demo from one of the technicians as well, I think it was, in his own house.
I bet there was.
I could already see how it could be really beneficial. So just having it on my head it was more interesting to kind of know what the physicality with regards to the headset was like, and then understanding how that could benefit kind of our kind of sector, I suppose. So it was the kind of, with regards to gaming, maybe not. I mean, the kind of the AR stuff, I suppose you could maybe say that would be the Wii kind of version of gaming compared to VR as a gaming kind of platform.
Yeah.
But I think for non-gaming stuff, it will be incredibly useful and beneficial.
Yeah. So I already think that £35 a month I think of it as a service, so I'm not attracted to it. But again, I think I'm looking at it from someone who's got more disposable income. And D, you don't think that you're not as interested in VR. So Zane, where's your stance on it in the end?
I mean, I think it's not for me personally, because I've already invested in the VR side of it. I've kind of planted my flag, so to speak. You're looking very confused.
I'm just reading the word fetus. I don't know what the fuck a fetus is.
Someone is a petting fetus. I mean, I've already kind of planted my flag in the PS side of things. So, but purely from that point of view, if I hadn't, I think this would probably interest me. I think I would probably go for this. I find it so funny how quickly we went as a society to everything being a service. Like television is now a service with subscription, and music is the same. It's down to everything, and that kind of colours like how you actually think about things. It's like the idea of paying something up with an interest rate on top of it has been around since that thing. Yeah, exactly. It's it's nothing new. I think what it does show is the fact that how much VR is struggling compared to what they actually thought would be the case. They're having to bring in these kind of things.
I think that's exactly what it is. It's a response. It's a response rather than an improvement, isn't it?
Oh no, absolutely. It's them looking for another way to push this into homes because they thought that push would be a lot easier than it's been, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So, I like the idea. I think anything that makes VR more accessible is a good thing, is a good idea. AR as well, for that matter. I think it is two completely different fields.
Yeah, definitely.
I think because you put it on your head and it displays information, people tend to put them in the same box, and I think they are two completely different things. And I think how you use them, how you interact with it is the same. How you actually physically use AR versus VR, I think, is two completely different things. Which I can see plenty of reasons for both, because VR can quite literally take you out of this world. AR just is. I don't mean just augments, because that's a hell of a big thing as well, but AR augments the things around you and makes things easier for you.
Yeah.
I think both of them are equally valid and going to be equally positive in our futures.
I think that's exactly right. And for me, it's exactly as you said. It's that kind of, it's two very different technologies. For example, I mean, the Oculus that I've got, you've got the PSVR. I mean, for example, if D went and bought the Vive, for example, then we'd have all gamuts covered. But do you know what? The reality of it is that we're not.
Oh, that sounded like peer pressure to me.
Oh, no, you know what peer pressure sounds like. Peer pressure sounds like you buying a giant television for your living room. That's what peer pressure sounds like.
Or a camera.
Or a camera, yeah. But no, the thing is that I think it's important to understand the difference in those, because I think one of the major things that really killed like true VR, without sounding like a snobby prick, is people got the Samsung Galaxy Gear when they bought their S7 or whatever, and they went, "Oh, this is what VR's like. Why are you paying £700 for it? It's a completely different game," and people don't know that. And I think that not bad marketing, but indirect marketing and people not knowing the difference is really what happens. I mean, companies like Game in the UK would charge people £5 to try out VR. Who'd pay £5 to try out a demo of shut up? And
yes.
That's between that and people putting on £15 plastic headsets with their phone in it and going, "Oh, I wouldn't spend a lot of money on that. This is shite. It's quite cool, but I wouldn't spend £700 on it." That's not VR. That's nothing like VR. Stop it. But people don't know the difference, and it's no different to every other fucked up marketing product like Windows RT and all the other stupid shit that people got wrong. And they're not going to get it right until it's something easily packaged. For me, the only thing I'm hoping for, having invested in Oculus, is that when the Scorpio comes around at the end of the year, that the integration that they're talking about with Acer and Dell and HP with these headsets that are £400, that they also have Oculus support. I doubt it because of the inside-out tracking versus like satellite tracking, but I would like to hope that's the case, because I've invested a lot of money in that, and I'd like to be able to say, to take it to my living room isn't a big nightmare for me. I can buy a couple of sensors, stick in my living room, and all I need to do is unplug the headset and plug it in the living room. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, it's purely my own theory at the moment, but the fact that they kind of bundled in the Xbox controllers with the Oculus Rift, there's some sort of deal there with Microsoft and Oculus from the very beginning. So chances of the Scorpio actually supporting Oculus Rift, I think, are pretty high. Can I base that on other than that, but even just that fact, there is a relationship between those two companies, and yeah, Microsoft are looking at other options for cheaper ones, but I can see them. I could see them having support for the Oculus off the bat when it comes out, hopefully.
Well, a couple of weeks to find out, anyway. On that note, actually, I'm going to be live. Dee and I are getting together. You're welcome over, Zane. We've not spoken about this already, but Dee and I are going to get together and have a proper Super Bowl Sunday action and watch as much E3 as we can into the next day, and live tweet it, and maybe do a wee stream from this here room, get a wee sofa set up, and just sit and watch a bunch of shit and commentate on it as it goes. So
a live reaction stream.
Yeah, a live wank stream.
Yeah,
without the wank stream. These face said no. But yeah, we can talk about that close at the time, because that's one of the few times that doing a podcast isn't going to be full of chips, because there's something to actually talk about. So anything else on VR before we move forward?
Yeah, if you want one, it's easier to get one. I think that's pretty much the gist of it. I don't think so. Well, I suppose you can move on to the PlayStation VR, which
Yes.
just today.
I'll leave this one with you as the PSVR man, and I'm going to get a drink quick.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't know. The man just can't sit down for a minute. So, the PlayStation have just released their Farpoint game and peripheral for VR, which is basically a big toilet roll tube, as far as I can see, that you point at the screen and use as a machine gun. Is essentially what it is. I should have been prepared and had a picture of this thing before we actually started talking. That would have made it a lot easier.
What was it called again?
It is, the game itself is Farpoint. If you look for that, you'll probably find the controller. But it is basically they've taken apart a move controller and put it in a kind of series of tubes and added a trigger to it. And apparently it's really good. And the only reason I haven't got one straight away is the game itself looks a bit meh. I think there's this thing at the moment where they're still kind of struggling to get people used to the idea, or they're scared to throw people into VR experiences. So the game seems to take like 10-15 minutes just to actually start. It's like you're walking about with a gun in your hand, but you don't actually want to shoot at until you've moved around in the world for about 10 minutes. In which case, if you are likely to get motion sickness, you probably switch it off before you ever shoot somebody, and that's £70 down the tubes. Which is it's a bit unfortunate. Yeah, so that's the other thing. The actual, I mean, the piece of kit literally looks like a toilet tube with a trigger on it. It's like a kitchen roll tube, rather. It just looks like a big white plastic pipe more than anything. But apparently it tracks really well. It's got a couple of accelerometers built into it as well, so that if you turn the gun sideways or turn the gun up, it kind of tracks relative to that motion, like really quite accurately, and it does look the part. I think the fact that you can't see because you've got the screen on, you can't see the fact that you're holding a big kitchen roll tube probably helps. But it looks like a ridiculous thing, but apparently is really good. So hopefully more games will come out that actually use it and put it to good use, because Farpoint rather just did not look too great to me at all, I'm afraid, which is a bit of a shame. And apparently this is the other thing I'm struggling with VR experiences. Sorry, booby grab. Is for this, you're paying £50 for the game, you're paying an extra £20 for the controller, so it's a £70 package. And the game lasts about, I think you can play straight through start to finish in about 5 hours. And I think if it's 5 hours of an absolutely jaw-dropping experience, which if it's your first ever time in a VR experience, it probably is, then fair enough. But otherwise, if
that's a lot of money for a Guitar Hero controller.
Aye, it's like if you've been playing about with the VR for a year already, it's not going to be popping out at you quite as much as it is someone that's just stepping into it for the first time. And the fact that the game kind of takes 10-15 minutes to actually give you something to shoot at in the first place, because it's trying to get you used to it, is just, it's like, I'm used to it. I've done my training, I've done my 10,000 hours, I just want to play the goddamn games now. So I think this is the other issue, I think, with how slowly it's actually taken on, is that they're still designing things to get people used to VR rather than here's what we can actually do in this now. And that's, if you've been in it for a while, that's not really too great.
I'll be honest with you, I think that's a babying thing at the console end, because in the Oculus and Vive there's a lot of stuff that just fucking lobs you right into it. There is. I mean, what was I playing recently? Even like Rick and Morty, for example.
Oh, give me a break. I mean, that's no. I mean,
no.
It's a toy box.
It is a toy box, but it doesn't give you instructions when you start it. It just goes go. Same as things like
Which, but I mean, this is what I'm saying. Yeah. Well. Oh no. Okay. Don't touch anything. Yeah. I don't know. Rick and Morty, and it's just a bit like Job Simulator. It's a toy box, and if you've already done one of those, than it is just picking things up and going, who would does this do? And like I've had that experience. Again, if you're brand new to it and first thing you put on is Rick and Morty, it's going to blow your fucking mind. And if you're a big fan of the series, even more so, absolutely. But I mean, no, I wouldn't exactly say that's pushing the boundaries. Your Robo thingy,
Recall.
Recall, absolutely. It's doing something that was not really.
Have you played that yet?
No.
It's a fucking sweatbox, man. That's where it goes.
I need to come over here to get a hold of that.
You should. We need to clear the house so you can just combat roll into a fucking wardrobe.
But it's kind of struggling as well because all the big developers are seeing it as too much of a price challenge. There's not enough headsets out there for them to put a lot of money into developing games that really kind of push it forward, because they're not going to see the return on that investment. So therefore, all you're really getting is a lot of small developers who are putting out the same
game with a different skin.
Stand there and shoot 'em up kind of like, thing. Which, at least something's getting produced for it, and hopefully it'll help to grow the market. But it's slow and painful. It has to be said.
I think you're right. I think this is the first time I've seen a situation where it seems almost like early adopting. When we first early adopted, like say for example, if you were one of the first guys to have a Voodoo 2 graphics card in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Or you're the first guy of your friends to jump to Windows XP from Windows 95, and it kind of felt like, oh, I'm on the bleeding edge here, and then very quickly your mates would be with you. Whereas now we're in a kind of market where VR has been in this weird stuck point for a long time. But also, I mean, with the same token, we've got our games in early access or Steam preview or whatever the fuck you want to call them, and you end up in a situation where, I've been playing this game for 2 years, but it's still in early access. We're almost kind of being forced into this kind of position of being eternal early adopters, and it's almost, in some places it feels deliberate, in other places it feels like they don't know how to get a foothold.
Oh, aye. Well, this is, I mean, this has been a problem, I think, for a while. I mean, this is kind of, it's not really related to VR per se, just more kind of games in general, but there's been this big thing recently where like, Steam Early Access causes all sorts of issues with this, and the Xbox One, because they're controlling it a bit more, it's not been quite as bad so far. But I mean, the big example is that DayZ went into beta this week.
All right, okay.
Yeah, like people have been playing this game for 4 fucking years now.
That's just going to beta now?
And that's it going into beta. That's it going into its beta phase.
Fucking hell.
Like you're taking the piss. You are absolutely taking the piss. And it's suddenly become this thing where bedroom coders that want to learn to make computer games and develop computer games, instead of actually making a very small game and kind of finding a foot in the industry, or you're suddenly getting that whole thing is just skipped, that's out there, and suddenly everybody wants to make the next big fucking survival infinite fucking world survival game that just takes up so many resources that will actually cost fucking God knows how much to make, and therefore the only way to do it is to do it through an early access program and get people to cough up early for it, and you're like, that cannot be sustainable. I keep saying that. I've been saying that for 2 years now, which is the problem. I've been saying it for fucking longer than that. In fact, if DayZ's been 4-year-old, then I've been saying it for at least 3.5. And unfortunately, I seem to be proven wrong, because you're just getting more and more and more of them, and they're still out there and they're still making them. And
the thing is that it's not as straightforward as that, because if you take like DayZ, has been there for fucking ever, or we've been playing Astroneer for like, I don't know, on and off for like 6 months, and it's coming on and it's changing dramatically. But then you've got other games like The Long Dark. I bought early access to The Long Dark when it came to Xbox early access. The game had next to no content, but it was still thoroughly entertaining just to survive. And in the 6 months I've been playing that on and off, that game has got a full story mode now. I mean, it's a fully playable, brilliant, entertaining game.
Well, it's now properly released.
And that's the thing, they actually got there. The problem is that I think early access needs an expiry point. They should say, you want early access, but you've got 6 months, or you've got a year. It shouldn't be something to be left eternal. It needs to be policed to a degree, to force and pressure them into finishing the product. So that if they're going to put in early access, it needs to be a level completion.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not just we'll get this half-hour game, fling it in, and we'll be in this until we're done.
No, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I just find it. I just find it insane. And I have done it on occasion. I have bought some of these. I have bought into them, and I kind of kick myself every time I do. But yeah, just the entire idea of here's a concept. Here's what we want to do. And we might be able to pull it off. Chances are we won't be able to pull it off, but we might. You never know. So, and going, yeah, absolutely. Here, take my money. It just seems absolutely fucking insane. And I've done it, but I've done it on ones where it's people where I've known, like where it's kind of. I've kind of known the history of the game developers. What companies come from, what they've done previously, whether they're trying to do something similar to a project that they've done before, and therefore how likely it's to succeed, and kind of weighed up the pros and cons that way. And, you know, rather than just handing it to, but I've never done it with a game where it's just been some random dudes that I have no idea who they are or what they've done before, and whether they're ever likely to pick it off. It's a, you know, you have got to kind of hedge your bets for these things and kind of like do a bit of research and work out if it's likely to be something to succeed based on the pedigree of who's making it in the first place. And yeah, there's always going to be outliers for that as well. There's going to be someone who just comes out of the gate, comes out of nowhere, and just makes an absolute blinder. But yeah, that's not exactly the best thing to risk your hard-earned cash on.
No, I think you're exactly right. I think that, but I think that's the solution. I think the solution is you can put your game in early access if these criteria are met. I'm sure there's criteria there already, but I think a level of completion in terms of feature set, and then after that, if you have 6 months to complete this. Otherwise, you're getting told the fuck back out early access, and you need to refund your customers. Some kind of implication like that would make people go, "We'll be very careful when we go early access," because we'll make people cough up. And then at least if a product has some way of measuring viability in the project, you know. Yeah. Do you bought anything in early access ever?
I don't think so. I was just trying to think of that actually.
I don't. There's nothing I can think of that I've seen you playing. I mean, you don't play Steam or anything.
Well, I was going to say,
and I've not seen anything on your Xbox that has been.
You don't really get early access as such on the Xbox. Certainly not to the extent of the Steam, and with me being a Steam newbie and all that. No, I don't believe I have, and I'm not convinced I would either.
Things like, well, in my case, Astroneer, The Long Dark, Elite Dangerous, I think was one.
That was one, yeah.
I think that's all I bought. I don't know.
I've forgotten the name of it now. The dudes that made Castle Crashers.
Oh yeah, Behemoth.
With the demon bear.
Yeah.
What the hell's that
People.
called? Pet People. Yes.
So I just heard a horrible noise out my window. I think somebody attacked my cat.
Probably that shark. Aye. Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. It's like a hive, and I am liking how. I'm liking how Xbox are actually bothering to curate it properly. Like the things that are appearing on there are coming out of that kind of early access period and come out of it relatively quickly.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as bad. The Steam side of it's a mess. Steam side of it's been a mess for years, and just needs to be ripped up, and fucking thrown away, quite frankly. But it's like anything else. It's like kickstarting games and whatever. It's like you take your chances, but just know what you're getting into before you do.
Yeah. Well, any games that I bought them thinking I'm going to buy this game and it's going to be shit. That was my expectation, and that was what I kind of settled for. So, just what it's going to be.
Yeah. The downside of it is you're seeing a lot less kind of smaller gems because people aren't working on like small games that they can put out there, like the whole Well, even then, even what's kind of termed as indies these days are kind of AA games, maybe not AAA, but you know,
Like City Skylines, for example.
you know, they're certainly kind of pushing it up there.
Yep.
So you're not seeing that kind of same indie thing because they're all trying to make fucking DayZ, and they're all trying to make it. At the moment, it's all Hunger Games type clones that they're trying to make. And just putting it all into that and putting them all into early access. So you're not seeing the development of different genres and different ideas because they're all trying to push that one idea.
Yeah.
And try to get your money off you for it before they've even made the goddamn thing.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame.
Native J, however, I am still playing Subnautica. Yeah, it's... Subnautica is one of the annoying ones because it's taken absolutely forever to get out of there, but it is continually progressing. It is continually updating, continually getting
I thought you said Sim Erotica.
better.
That's a whole genre.
That's a wee indie game I'm working on. We'll talk about that later.
We're going to talk about that later because D, you're the main character.
Subnautica is really good.
Don't play it in VR if you don't like sharky monster things because it freaks you the fuck out. It looks amazing though. It's really cool in VR.
I'm sure it is.
Zane, did you ever try out the... what was it called? Is it a Time Machine, I think it was called?
No, it is on PS. It's one of the few I've not tried.
It's okay. It's kind of a little bit like flying about in the you know, the kind of ships out of Oblivion D? The bubble ship thing?
Yes.
Tom Cruise flies about in. Yep. It's kind of like being one of those, but it's like dinosaurs under the water and you've got to scan them and stuff, and then you go to different time zones and there's all different things. It's kind of like that, but you're submerged in a real kind of world, and it's just, it's nuts. In VR, it's fucking terrifying, to be honest with you.
I'm sure. I thought they had tried it. I thought.
Was Subnautica?
No. Time Machine.
Time Machine?
Yeah, the Time Machine was. I played that the first time I was over with the VR.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
I've got vivid memories of walking into that room and detailing as how we had not long ago scanned a megalodon's vagina.
That's right. Yes. So basically that. But have you? D, sorry, I'm assuming you've never
Sounds
seen.
about right.
D, I'm assuming you've not seen Subnautica at all.
No, not at all.
So it's a kind of first-person thing where, as I understand it, you're on a planet that won't let you escape because you're in a quarantine, and you need to scavenge resources to build like a base and kind of get yourself off the planet. There's like kind of artifacts and there's kind of things to unlock and all this kind of stuff. Very cool though, but really quite, as Zane said, it started out as this kind of water survival kind of game, and then it's so expansive now. There's so much content being pumped into it. But yeah, really cool little game. But in VR, it's shit show, man. Can't do it at all. Gives me the jeebs. But very cool, and again, that's another example of it. Is that even in release yet, Zane?
No, again, it's been in permanent early access, but it's one of the better ones where it is continually evolving and continually progressing and getting better, like literally month on month, and you're seeing what you're getting for it. It's one of the few games that gives it a good name, which kind of makes it a viable platform when it really shouldn't be, unfortunately. Because those games are like 1 in a million. Most of them are not Subnautica is the problem. It's the one that's kind of it's the pinnacle. And the entire thing, actually, we can bring back to fucking Minecraft, of all things. It was the kind of one that just kind of came out from nowhere. It wasn't even on Steam or anywhere like that. It just kind of got around by word of mouth, which again is probably how these things should work rather than be given a platform like Steam. But it was just like you go into their site and you can download this for, I think it was like £10 at the time.
Aye. And you download a license, not even the game, so you could install it on tons of devices and stuff. Yeah.
So it was just like this is a work in progress. It's £10, and it'll be. It just is what it is, and it absolutely exploded. And then suddenly everybody thought they could make their games that way. It's like, wow, fuck, bastards. Yeah, goddamn Minecraft. It started the whole bloody thing off. Yeah,
it was Mojang and Marcus Persson, who's called Notch, built it, and that came out. What year was that? I'm just having a wee look at the Wikipedia page for it. But weird, doesn't have a history on it actually. That development. So he started developing that himself in 2009 as a tech test, a survival test in 2009. And now, I mean, I don't know what Microsoft bought it for, but Microsoft bought Minecraft for 2.5 billion. And then you ask yourself, why are people chasing early access? Well, because somebody made 2.5 fucking billion on a Square making game.
Well, exactly. Yeah, that is why. It's
crazy.
There's just so much of it is now just cart before the horse. It's like, we can make this fantastic game if you give us your cash. It's like, no, go and make the game, and if it's fantastic, we'll give us your cash. It's like, well, no, if you don't give us the money, we can't afford to make the game. It's like, well, somehow that should be it. Somehow that should be the conversation over. Somehow that should be the impasse. But no, somehow they've convinced us to actually give us the cash up front. I'm like, that's just fucking wrong. Wrong.
Yeah, fair dinkum. Can't argue with that.
However,
So-
I have invested in a few of these, so my hands are not clean. So, you know, maybe you're just a wee bit scum on that one.
I'm covered in fucking scum on that one, because you warned me about it and I still did it. So can we move on to something more AAA that I'm very excited about, as I spoke about last week, and that it was rumoured and then there was a lot of non-rumours. Ubisoft had their big kind of year-end or year start or sales fucking review conference meeting internally, and announced that they've got Assassin's Creed Origins, Far Cry 5 and The Crew 2 coming.
Oh, can't wait for The Crew 2. That is going to be
The Crew was
awesome.
fucking terrible, wasn't it?
That's got to be one of the worst racing games I've played in a long, long time.
I mean, that's kind of like making a really shit film and then making a big deal of releasing another shit film.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever played The Crew. Thinking about it,
I put it on. I think I got it free for was it free at one point? And I
Yeah,
put it on for 20 minutes and went, "This is shit," and turned it off.
It was free on the Xbox thing. And the Live Gold 1 month, which is the only reason I looked at it as well.
That's the one that started with the truck chase, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was piss.
The controls for that game are just awful. The handling just felt pish. And if your handling on a driving game feels pish, then what's the point? I think we actually talked about it in this podcast the time on around about the time it was released on Gold, and picked it up and took a look at it. And I was like, if your racing game has multiple teleport points, like,
Why the fuck are you racing?
It's like when you feel the need to have just multiple, you can teleport to your destinations on the map. That's not a good sign.
No, because the joy's meant to be in the fucking driving.
Aye. It's like when your racing game gives you an option to avoid the racing. It's like, yeah, that's not so good. So, yeah, that one not going to look forward to. Assassin's Creed is looking a bit, well, they haven't actually said anything. Everything about this is rumours right now. All they've done is release a logo for it.
Some guy on Reddit was saying he had some good insight on it, though. Did you read this?
I was going to say everything else is kind of rumours. I've not read it on Reddit, but it's probably the same info with the whole Egypt thing.
I can't remember where they said it was, but what it did say is they've taken out the towers. You now use your ego for everything.
Okay.
And there's still kind of high things to climb, but it's not to unlock the map. You use your ego, a la kind of Far Cry Primal using your owl.
Yeah.
And that they've tightened up the kind of parkour elements where you don't bounce off walls accidentally. The stealth elements have been tightened up massively as well, apparently as well. So if they can get those things right, that's going to be a much better game. Because I really like the idea of Assassin's Creed. I hate some of the mechanics.
Yeah. How do you feel about an open world Assassin's Creed? Whatever the hell that means.
Have they not all been open world to most purposes? I mean,
kind of. Well, what they're talking about, and this is only rumours, but what they're kind of talking about is making it a massive open world game, and at the moment your upgrades, any time you've been able to upgrade like your weaponry and things and unlock skills in Assassin's Creed, it's always been based on the story.
Mm-hmm.
So you progress to a certain point within the story, and then part of the storyline is you getting these upgrades, and that's how it's done. And it's making it more like a kind of, I suppose, a kind of an RPG system where like you're doing X amount of things, and as you're playing through the game, and the story itself is a lot less important. It's just going to be a lot less linear.
Yeah.
In this kind of historical mashup, story-driven franchise, like. That's a big change. Like to turn Assassin's Creed into Wildlands, or do you know what I mean? It's like
It's not the worst idea though. It would make me go back to it. Is the thing.
It'll make some folk go back to it. I mean, I'm certainly looking for a change, but at the same time, yeah, it's like it's a risk of losing your fan base that you've got, which is still quite a large fan base.
Yeah.
You know, if they get it wrong, it's like. It's a tough one. It's just rumours. Don't know whether that is actually the case or not. Chances are it is, because it's rumours that coming out and we're getting closer to E3, and the leaks are going to start coming out all over the shop. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, because I ain't played the last couple of Assassin's Creed games because I was bored with them. The one with the big boat was just pretty much done it for me. When they took out the sailing again, I was just like, nope, not doing it. Had enough.
Black Flag was incredible.
Yes, absolutely awesome game.
But the problem with Black Flag is it didn't feel like an Assassin's Creed game.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't. I mean, well, I certainly didn't spend any time on the land, so.
No. That's it. You're all about the seamen.
Absolutely, love seamen.
So to get to the thing I care most about is the fact that we actually have an official statement of Far Cry 5 existing. The news is that they're looking at it coming out in this financial year, or next financial year, sorry, which could be up to November, which is the leak dates we had already for all three of these games. I couldn't give a shit. I just want Far Cry 5. Just anything Far Cry blows my fucking goat happily.
It's up till March.
Next year.
This is a concern anytime between kind of April this year and March next year. Which has me sweating slightly, because I did bet my left testicle that there would be a new Far Cry before the end of the year.
No, I'm pretty damn sure we're getting a Far Cry by November. I was looking back at the release dates of the last three, and they've all been in that same window.
Yeah.
It would be weird for them to change it. I mean, I'll just rage quit if it doesn't come out before then. So
yeah, well, I'm just purely because I'm guessing live castrations are frowned upon on YouTube, so I'm really hoping it comes out before December.
We won't hold you to that. We'll just make you give D your PSVR. That's the worst of it. But yeah, so like Far Cry 5, we know nothing about it, but I just cannot wait to get knee deep in that stupid shit again. I just that's my favorite. If somebody says that, or someone said Portal 3, fuck Half-Life, don't care about Half-Life. Or somebody says the next Tomb Raider, or maybe the next Gears, but that's about the height of things that will make me go, yes, all of that shit, please. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. D, any excitement in any of those three titles? The Crew, Assassin's Creed, or Far Cry 5?
So the Crew, next to no interest in, having not played the first one, but kind of listening to your description of it, it doesn't sound very good, particularly after you've played the likes of Horizon, which was such a slick game. So the second one, which was, what was the second one saying?
Assassin's Creed. I think it's called Origins, aren't we?
Yeah, I've not really found any interest in any of the Assassin's Creed games yet, so I'm going to have to say no to that. And then just to flip the approach to this, Far Cry 5, yes, absolutely, get it out now!
That's a fair question, actually. What game, out of all games you've ever played, like across every generation you've ever played, what game would you love to say that's the game? If someone said that game's getting made, or a sequel to, or whatever, what game would make you go, that, I want that shit right fucking now? What game excites you most?
Well, that's interesting.
That's to both of you, by the way.
I'd like to see another BioShock,
Okay.
but based in Rapture. I would like.
Did you do Burial at Sea?
Burial at Sea. What's that? DLC?
DLC for the Infinite.
Infinite? No, I didn't play it.
That gives you a nice slice of Rapture that before Rapture went wrong.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's worth looking into.
Okay. I'd also like, because I like the series, and then I remember going back to the first one and thinking this is absolutely terrible. But I remember liking it at the time the Fear games. So I'd like I'd like to see Fear using the kind of graphics capability we've got now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be honest, I want to see more fun, not so much AAA games. I want more fun at the console rather than slogs of games.
Games like, or kind of, when you say fun, what you kind
I'm
of
talking top-down isometric type stuff. I mean, I know we've had the kind of the prison game that I was playing for a while, and we've got to a degree the City Skylines is kind of a little bit like that, but just more fun games that you can kind of play, just shooting, driving games that are kind of stick them on, fire away, and just cause carnage for a couple of hours and forget about life.
Like Ghost Recon Wildlands that I've been having a thoroughly fucking good time with.
All those small independent games that people used to make before early access came along and fucked it up is
exactly, and we bring it right down. Yeah, exactly. You just don't seem to kind of get those titles anymore. I think I remember saying a couple of weeks ago the fact that, do you remember the amount of shite that you could get on the 360 marketplace, but eventually you would find 1 in 10 games was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see more of that. I don't necessarily need to see amazing graphical games that are not trying to be amazing graphical games, but just something kind of fun.
Apparently there's like up to, was it 300 games? Is it more in ID Xbox at the moment? So, I mean, we're not lacking, we just don't explore so easily because even these cheap games are still 20 quid and you're going, that looks shit though.
Yeah,
Yes.
for all that Xbox have done a lot of work on their UI and are constantly updating it, the one thing they haven't really done is kind of push this ID Xbox thing.
Nope.
Yeah, they always talk about it, but it's never that easy to stumble upon.
It's never easy to kind of find. Like there should be somewhere within those screens within that console to actually kind of go to specifically those games, like, because they just get caught up and swept aside in the rest of it. The image on the screen, incidentally, Georgie says go and Google Assassin's Creed Origins leaked photo, which I did, and it is this. It is a photo of a boat, which is probably not very much, but it's enough to make me go, okay, I'll change my mind. If we're going back to get a Black Flag, we're going to actually be out in ships and things. Yeah, I would probably give that a go.
The thing I read on that though was that it was just a mode of transport. It's not there's some customization, but the boats are treated the same way like The Witcher treats boats.
You just need to spoil everything, don't you? You are dead to me.
That's why I live underwater. I'm literally sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah. Well, like I say, I mean, at the moment it is all kind of rumours and hearsay and who knows.
We won't know till E3 at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, we'll know 2 weeks before it when everybody starts leaking to try and get their story out before everyone else's, but aye.
I try to avoid that shit as well, so I would actually say we put a podcast veto on, we just stream games until the weekend of it. Because I want to do 4 days of hardcore fucking coverage.
Oh no, it's killed the chat.
Oh no!
There we go.
Yay! So moving on from there, we're just talking about Wildlands as well. Zane, you've flagged that Wildlands second DLC's got a release date. What date is it?
It has a release date of... They're doing the exact same thing actually they did with the previous one. So if you've bought the season pass, the DLC will be out on the 30th of May. And if you're just looking to buy the DLC on its own, it'll be the 6th of June.
And this one is this the Survivor? No, what's it called again?
Something like that. They're talking about Dark Ghost. I don't remember.
Oh, Fallen Ghosts, I think it's called.
Fallen Ghosts, that was it. Dark Ghosts, yeah.
So this is interesting because I don't understand fully what it's about, because it says that an elite team of badasses are coming to hunt you down. Is it AI and you survive against them?
I believe, I don't know what the modes actually are. There is some PvP involved in this one, so it could well be that they're referring to. All I know is that it's got kind of, I think it's like 15 more missions, so it's probably got another 3 bosses with 5 missions each, kind of similar to the
Narco Road.
acrobatic planes and monster trucks and nonsense.
Narco Road.
Yeah, which we looked at once and went back to the original game and just continued along with it. So that's how
Well,
much
finish that now. Actually went back to Narco Road and did a mission the other day.
just because.
I really enjoy the environment. I enjoy just like shooting the fuck out of things from 500 meters, you know. So
Yeah, I mean the game's still selling. The game's still selling big. I think it's still in like the kind of top 10 UK. It's doing really well. Everybody slags it off, but including me.
deserve to do well. It's a proper bit of entertainment, and exactly as Dee was saying, is granted is a AAA title, but you put that game on and you're having fun from start to finish.
But I am if you guys are on, yeah.
Yeah, true.
If you're playing with if you're playing with 3 other people, it's absolutely blinding. If not, it's a bad game.
Yeah, I can't argue with that much right now.
Yeah, I keep saying it's like a bad game. I have no interest in the story. I have no idea what the story is. I finally got right all the way through and killed the big bad, or didn't kill the big bad, or whatever happened.
Oh, by the way, just for your information, you can't actually get the good. You can't get the good ending.
Can't get the good ending.
You have to get the bad ending first, then go back and do it, and then you get a good ending.
Yes, aye.
So what? You just play the last?
I told you that.
You've got to play the last mission twice to get the good ending.
Okay.
Yeah, Ghost Recon Wildlands is number 1 at the moment after Horizon Zero Dawn's 2, Lego Worlds is 3, Breath of the Wild is 4, and this is Metacritic at the moment. So yeah, I mean it's doing well for itself, and I think it deserves to. But yes, if you've not got mates to play with, it'd be a bunch of shit. However, if I had no mates to play with, I think I'd be more inclined to be going on the internet and finding random to play with. I don't do that. I don't like doing that. But if you guys weren't there at all, I'd be like, I'll give it a spin.
It's kind of interesting to bring it back to the Assassin's Creed one of this is what they're trying to do. It's like that I'm sitting saying I've no idea what the story is and I don't really care. As long as I'm playing with you guys, I'm having a blast with it, and therefore that's fine. The worrying thing is like this is where they want to push Assassin's Creed to as well, is where the story doesn't really matter and you're just out in the world.
Yeah.
Kind of following a non-linear path, doing your thing, and it's like, well, actually, if it's a game where it's a single player and you've had no mention of me and 3 of my assassin mates up till this point, then I don't want that. Thank you very much, because your story is so flimsy in Wildlands, because the story doesn't matter, because that's not what you're trying to push.
Yeah.
But in a game like Assassin's Creed, that does fucking matter.
Yes.
Like you need a good doesn't need to be a good story. They've proven that quite a few times, but at least need a story. So yeah, that kind of concerns me that they are trying to push all of their games into this big wide open world thing, and the story isn't actually the main point focus. It's like, well, you'll get away with that with some of them. You'll get away with that with your multiplayers especially, but you're not going to get away with that with all of them. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. We'll see when Assassin's Creed actually hits.
Frankly, I'm a big soft mark. Other than the crew, Ubisoft will get my money, just because more often than not, I enjoy their games. So, same as that.
Yep, I can't wait to actually get some info about Far Cry 5.
Yeah, completely. So moving forward from there, what's this about Mass Effect Andromeda on hold?
Apparently, possibly. Again, rumoured. But 10 at best, folks. It's all rumours, especially this week. But yeah, so I'm just quickly skimming over this as I do it, because I found it about 15 minutes before we actually started this. Is it Montreal that made this one? Yes. So BioWare Montreal was the studio that made Mass Effect Andromeda, and apparently it has been quite rapidly downsized, but They're essentially putting Mass Effect Andromeda 2 on hold. So, yeah, all that kind of controversy at the beginning of dodgy facial animations and yada 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 has seemed to have had quite an effect. And yeah, you're literally balls deep in Andromeda at the moment, so
Yeah, that's interesting. Or is it possibly that they'd already started running out of money and that's why there is the kind of problems at the start of it?
No, well, I think the time rush was the thing. The essentially, most of these games, especially now, they'll have a kind of automated system for trying to get the characters to link with the speech that's put in, so that they're not having to kind of hand do the whole thing. But they were intending, apparently, again this is all rumours, but they were intending to actually go through and touch it up and make it better and make it a bit more lifelike, and that just never happened. They never got the time to actually do it. So, which is part of the reason why there was a patch not long after, which did make it a fair bit better than it was. I don't think you weren't playing it when it first came out. You got it after that patch, and it was better. It's still not great. It's still not. I mean, even if you compare it to Mass Effect 3, there is definitely a difference there. But yeah, it was better. It was really dodgy when it first came out. I mean, I find the whole game painful. Not just the animations. The animations I could live with if the actual storyline and the characters can interest me. It's like I still remember Garrick kind of vividly from the original trilogy. Well, the original 2, I didn't play the third one, which is a whole other set of reasons. Whereas characters in this were I just found it dull. I found it painful. It was like shitting through a torn arsehole. It was not good at all.
Shitting through a torn arsehole, eh?
Yeah. So personally, when they go, yeah, we're putting the next one on hold, I am not at all surprised and maybe just a little bit relieved, to be honest. But I know you've been playing it and actually quite got into it, kind of.
Well, I'm kind of the same opinion as yourself, if I'm being honest. I now feel like I'm playing it out of some sense of duty. I still kind of love the overall, the overarching story I like, and some of the kind of mythos and the kind of what they're trying to do. I enjoy, but the actual gameplay is as repetitive and boring as some of the original problems with the first Mass Effect, where you had all the brilliant kind of story arcs and building up your character and the empathy for the different races, and that side of things great. But that's now all it seems to be, unless you're just driving somewhere and doing the same mission that you were driving to 2 minutes ago and doing the exact same thing on another planet tomorrow night. It's just so repetitive. It's not worth it at all. The story isn't as strong as the first Mass Effects by a long shot. So, like I say, I'm playing it out of a sense of duty now. It's that way that I'm that kind of ball deep in it that I'm kind of within touching distance of completing it. So I'm not going to give up now. God damn it! But if I like the fact there might not be another Mass Effect, because they'll put me out of my misery of having to decide whether or not I'm going to buy the next one or not.
Yeah. I mean, it does seem, everything about it seems to be stressing that it is on hold. Like, it's not been cancelled, certainly yet. So, maybe I suppose it depends entirely on how the sales pan out kind of over the next 6 months or whatever, as to whether they decide exactly what to do with it. But certainly at the moment, the other thing being that Ubisoft, BioWare Montreal wasn't the company that made the original Mass Effect trilogy. This is a separate instance of BioWare.
Oh.
So I think, was it Toronto? I think the main one is based. I don't remember offhand. But I mean, it could well be that they just go fuck it and hand it back to those guys.
Yeah.
And go here, do it and do it right. Up until this point, Montreal's been around for a long time, but they've always been a support company for the main BioWare studios. This was their first game, and that does need to be taken into account. That I don't know how much leeway you give them for that, but it certainly helps to colour the conversation to know that like this was their first game. This was the first thing they put out on its whole up until this point. They've just been support for the other companies. They've like worked on smaller parts of other games for BioWare, and this was their first title as a studio going out the door, where they did the whole thing. So maybe all they're doing at the moment is downsizing them back to what they were and just downsize them to be a support company again until they get to the point where they want to actually start looking at putting out Mass Effect, putting out Andromeda 2. It could well just be that they build the size back up again when they decide to make that push. It does mean you're probably not going to see another Mass Effect for quite a while, because they're obviously not working on it just now.
Yeah, and given how long it takes to make that game, then you're talking about maybe 5 years away.
You could well be talking another 5-year span by the sounds of it, yeah. Unless they've given it to like the main BioWare studio again. I don't know. Like I'm making this up as I go along just now. Like all we know at the moment is that they have been downsized, and it looks like they're back to being a support company, rather than them making the games again.
I appreciate that kind of it might be their first taste at the big time cherry and all that, but is that not really from a kind of production point of view? I mean, the reason why this is an issue is because serious decisions at the top in terms of the kind of style and the gameplay, that's what's kind of missing, and I'm not convinced they're going to have that kind of ownership. Surely, all the different subsidiaries, I would have thought, particularly if it is their first go at such a big kind of IP, that surely you would still think Big John from headquarters is going to come down and keep an eye on things
and oversee it. Yeah. You would like to think, even if some of the same writers, if nothing else.
Absolutely,
you would think, but I mean that doesn't seem to have been the case with this. It does seem to have been kind of. I wouldn't go as far as saying outsourced, because it is the same company, but it is a company before up until this point and haven't put out a game. So unfortunately, I don't think they did as well as people were hoping. And you've got to argue, is that because they weren't given enough time to do so, or I don't think it was due to talent. I think it was due to time. I think they ran out of time. I think they were just told to get it out the door. I think they were told that's good enough, and clearly it wasn't. Certainly, as far as the fans were concerned.
So I want to know if that was Big John's decision or not.
That was probably Big John. Him or Albert, one of the two. Big John, BioWare. So yeah, it looks like we're going to be waiting. It's not the death, by the sounds of it, of Mass Effect, but it's going to be a long cold winter before you see another one, by the sounds of it.
Like I say, I'm happy about that.
Aye.
The fact of taking the decision out of my hands, I'm happy with, so there you go.
So I think that you're not actually enjoying this particular episode. You're kind of going, I'm working through it, is not a great testament to a game.
No, not at all.
No, I think that's it. I mean, there was kind of some talk for a wee while about, and I think it was just the diehard fans kind of giving a backlash against the whole taking the piss out of the graphics glitches and things, was like, oh, but graphics mean nothing, gameplay, it's all about gameplay. And now you're not really hearing anything about it, because to be honest, the gameplay ain't really that great anyway. And if you're a diehard fan, the gameplay has changed. The gameplay has changed quite a lot. It's like it's now not a cover shooter, and it's now not an RPG either. It's like I have no control over fucking Bill and Ted on either side of my shoulder. These guys now just do whatever the fuck they want. Whereas before, it was quite easy to say, right, I want you over there and I want you to fire X ability now, and actually control what they could do and what abilities they had in the first place. Now you're just like, go over there and just do whatever you want.
Yeah, you used to be able to control what they were shooting, couldn't you?
Yeah. The fact that you can now jump in the game, and the fact that you can, which sounds like it should be a good thing, you can now jump in a game. Well, it's fucking 2017, I should also. But you can jump and you can boost to cover distances quite quickly. So, and that just changes the whole dynamic of it as well. It's now no longer a cover shooter.
It's like a weird fucking third-person Titanfall.
Before that was a thing, is like you would get yourself in cover, you would need to rush to the next bit of cover to try and to stop yourself getting absolutely shot to shit. You would tell your two guys to set off whatever abilities they had to give you time to get to the next bit of cover, and all of that's gone now because they just kind of swarm around you and push you into using the jump abilities and the boost abilities to move around, and it's a lot more frenetic and it's a lot more polished, but it's not Mass Effect.
I had a funny one earlier on, just exactly with that, the kind of characters following you. And it turned out to be a really funny kind of example, but it kind of showed you in a really plain graphical sense exactly what you're saying there. What happened was the character, I've got Cora as one of my characters that I'm playing with just now, and initially her whole graphic crashed, so she was lying dead and she was just scraping across the floor wherever I kind of walked. And then it changed from that into almost like a Star of David or a crucifixion pose. So she's just locked in this pose and she just hovers about at the moment like that. And she's hovering about me. And it's like, hiya, you want a hug? Do you want a hug? Do you want a hug? And I'm running away. She's like, hiya, don't forget about me.
But no, I don't. I wish I could give a shit about Mass Effect. I just never got into it. It looks cool though. I mean, I actually quite enjoyed watching you play it at your house. I don't think it looked boring or anything. But I guess after 40, 50 hours, you're kind of going, oh.
It's just, it's kind of up its own arse. Is a good way of describing it. It's trying to get by this platform or storytelling of politics and intergalactic relations and so forth, when it's not got the kind of the gameplay to kind of back that kind of stuff up anymore. Zane's right, it's changed from this cover shooter to jump and dodge basically, and it has suffered immensely. It's a shame.
Well,
maybe we've changed.
Maybe we've grown as people.
Maybe it's us.
Maybe we just want more from games now. And intergalactic politics just doesn't get me hard anymore.
No, intergalactic politics totally gets me hard. But there you go.
Sorry, I was going to say that. I mean, there is a long-held theory that is kind of partially true, where like as you get older and you've got more responsibilities and therefore less time, it's like a game that takes 60 hours, 70 hours, 80 hours to actually get all the way through is not necessarily what you're looking for anymore.
Yeah, I've not really got any more responsibilities.
I was going to say, but there's none of us that I don't think actually fits in that category, given that, well, I almost said fuck kids, but that's really not what I meant. I meant we don't have kids to fuck. Anyway,
Wow.
Mayday, abort.
Wow, even better. You just can't. You got a shovel? All right. So while Zane deciding to destroy everything that is probably Christianity and every other faith, let's move quickly on. In the good news of things that I do care about, to counter to Mass Effect and my lack of care about it,
of kids.
Well, actually, if you're talking about Game of Thrones, there's probably a horrendous amount of that. But if we're talking about the next possible Game of Thrones, which would be that The Witcher has just been confirmed to have a Netflix published series in English. Well, it's in English, and it is going to be consulted upon by Andrew Sapkowski, who I can't pronounce his name. Andrew Sapkowski, is that it?
That'll do.
Andrzej Sapkowski. I'm reading his second book now. But he's going to be a creative consultant on it, and unlike fucking George R.R. Martin, doesn't fall asleep between books. And the CG company that did the trailers for The Witcher 3 are going to be involved with the CG in the TV show. So with Netflix's money and The Witcher as a rich tapestry, I think it's going to be fucking incredible. I'm very excited.
Yeah, there's not. It's literally news that came out today, so there's not a lot out there about it right now. But it's certainly it's certainly an interesting concept. There's a lot there they can do with it, and the fact that it is kind of based on the books themselves rather than the games are really good, but they are a kind of a tangent. And the fact that he is actually behind this is a good thing. Like that, there was a cheesy non-English movie made.
Oh, it's terrible. Have you seen it?
I've seen clips and it's funny. You do need to check it out.
It's nearly as bad as the Far Cry film. Have you ever seen the film Far Cry?
Oh, I didn't. That's the thing.
Have you not?
No.
Oh my god! Please watch Far Cry. It's incredible. The logo and everything at the start of it is Far Cry. It's the film of Far Cry. I didn't know you said. I thought everybody had seen this.
No, I've studiously avoided it.
Oh my god! It's the fucking ticket. It's unique, is what I'll say about it.
Yeah, it
So
existed.
Is it a film? What, just of the computer game?
It's a film called Far Cry, based on the ethos of Far Cry.
Is it fan made or is it legit?
No, it's a real movie. It was. I'm trying to think who actually did it. Let's just check this out. Who was it again? 2008. And yeah, the actual graphics on the actual. Oh, there's the fucking thing. Uwe Boll was the fucking director.
Of course it is. Fucking he's done so many of these fucking nonsense.
Is there anybody in it you know? Negative. No, Don S. Davis is in it, who's the bald guy that plays the general in fucking Stargate. That's the best you've got. Who's actually a decent wee actor, but this is a fucking sham of a film.
IMDb is giving it 3 out of 1 out of 10. 3 out of 1 out of 10, 3.1 out of 10.
Just watch it. It's phenomenal.
Just
phenomenal.
Get yourself to. No.
On a side note, I've just tweeted out from Tenuous at Best, at 10 at Best, on Twitter, the early E3 conference times.
Okay. I was going to say you did not tweet out, fuck kids.
Negative, I'll leave that to you, motherfuckers.
Oh, don't lump me in with him.
But yeah, I just tweeted out the early E3, I never said E17. The E3 conference times for 2017. So those are the early dates published. They are subject to change, but they could be awesome. So, but yeah, so I can't believe you've not seen it. And yeah, go and find Far Cry movie. Fucking, it's the worst thing you've ever seen.
Yeah. How did we get here?
The Bad Witcher movie.
The Bad Witcher movie. Okay, yeah. So the Bad Witcher movie is getting a good Witcher series.
Yes. So as a non-Witcher fan, there are no dragons. I will confirm this.
You just spoiled my only question I had for this.
There's no dragons in The Witcher anyway, let alone in the fucking series. But you like Game of Thrones, in which there's dragons.
There are griffins.
No, there's not.
What do you mean? No, there's not. What Game of Thrones have you been watching?
So was she the mother of fucking
Badgers?
lambs?
Fucking Mother of Pearl? What the fuck?
Mother of
God. Are they just really big iguana?
All of that.
Right.
I didn't say I didn't like dragons in films.
Oh, fuck, here we go.
I said I didn't like dragons in computer games.
You like Far Cry Blood Dragon?
There's no actual dragons in Blood Dragon. They're more.
Yes, there is. The entire title of the game is Blood Dragons.
Yeah, and it's ironic.
Yeah, but what's funny about that? The reason you don't like dragons is because you find it unbelievable. Yet you're playing Mass Effect.
Mass Effect is possible, alright.
That's right, Pathfinder.
Yeah.
You got it right.
As long as it's possible.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Montreal don't make it.
Aye, I'm very excited about this Witcher TV series anyway. But before we move on to film stuff, I just actually meant to catch up with you guys. You're playing Mass Effect Andromeda? Are you playing anything else, Steve?
No, that is literally occupying all of my waking life when not in work.
Nice. Zane?
Oh Christ, where do I start?
With the facts.
See, the problem is I'm playing quite a few things at the moment, but Horizon Zero Dawn has just spoiled me for all games.
I'm just looking at your notes and I see something that says Dick Wild.
Yes, that's a game not to Google.
No, that's a game that's getting Googled right now. This is my internet connection. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, if you've got to Google, just make sure you're very careful with it. Sorry, very quickly. Native J, I wonder, you guys in Scotland, are you 3 friends with a Loch Ness Monster? If you get another 5 minutes, it's probably going to swim behind Kay's head.
This is literally Nessie Watch right behind me. Also, Zane's currently sitting on a table made of haggis, and the D is actually 43% shortbread.
And 57% iron brew.
Oh, see, I was going to go for whiskey, but yeah. I suppose it's bourbon, so it doesn't really count. Okay, let's do this.
I don't get why I shouldn't Google Dick Wild. I'm looking at it and it doesn't look particularly obtuse.
I mean, it's just one of those ones, like, thankfully when you Google it, the game comes up. Like, but, you know, it could...
Alright, you just meant the connotation?
If your safe search is off, you know, that could be quite nasty, especially at work. Let's see...
It's on Oculus, apparently.
Yes, it came out in March. Oh, it came out in March on the PC. So, whenever... for Oculus Rift and Vive, I believe. And has now just been released yesterday for PlayStation. And it's all right. It's a fun wee game where you just stand on a raft and shoot shit that's coming towards you. It's basically a wave-based shooter in VR, but it's got some nice comedy touches. I think is why I like it. Is why I'm quite enjoying it. It's got a kind of various weapons that are all just kind of ridiculous things. You've got a basic bow and arrow, which is fine, or you can try and take them out by dueling nail guns. You've got a shotgun, which with a click of the finger turns into a sniper rifle for getting the further away shots. It's all a bit silly, and the comments that your character comes out with as you're playing are quite fun. It's quite kind of novel on that side of it. Mm-hmm. Other than that, it's what every VR game is at the moment, is stand there and shoot a kind of a wave of things, because they're not really it's what we're talking about, they're not really kind of pushing what you can actually do with this at the moment. They're just getting out games quickly and cheaply and trying to get folk to actually take up on the thing in the first place. I think this is £12, £11, and for that it's certainly worth it. It's quite frenetic, it's quite hectic, and it's quite fun. And I shall probably make a silly video of it and stick it up on the channel quite soon, just because I've not done any VR stuff for quite a while. But
your mic's went muffly, Chief.
Oh my god, because I'm crossing my hands over my mic. Because that's
no, I'll definitely give that a look. It looks fun. As I say, I've played a good bit of Robo Recall, which is exhausting but really good fun. Because there's fucking face huggers in it.
Yeah.
You can't shoot them for shit.
It's got some nice touches that you can't do outside VR. Because that's the thing, it's like we've kind of almost gone back to like kind of Operation Wolf.
Yes.
As far as these things are concerned, it's like VR games are like kind of 20 years behind real games at the moment.
Yeah.
And you're basically, the only difference is instead of standing in an arcade machine with the gun in front of you and pointing at a screen, is like you are inside the screen and it's 360 degrees all around you, which is fucking mind-blowing and is awesome. But the games themselves are very of that ilk. It is all kind of Operation Wolf, but which is fun. The one thing this does that you couldn't do outside VR, which is quite cool, is you get things like the seagulls flying overhead. And you'd think your priority would be taking out the fucking crocodiles that are coming towards you. But if you don't take out the seagulls, they will fly over and then just shit on your visor. And as it's falling quite slowly, you can see it coming. And actually avoid it. You can actually move out of the way so that it doesn't actually land on you, which you couldn't do in any other kind of platform. That's like the one kind of thing where you do need the VR for it to kind of fully work. Is like the fact you can actually dodge the bird shit. There's other kind of pufferfish type things that kind of jump out of the water and spit at you as well. And I did find myself, it's like you get one of these just fat full in the face and you cannot see a bloody thing, and you find yourself having to twist your head down and kind of look out the corner.
Aye.
To see fucking round the shit and start aiming. And you can still aim and aim accurately doing it. It's got kind of nice wee touches to it that just kind of make it more than just standing there shooting.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's just a stand there and shoot shit game. But it's a fun one. It's one of the better ones I've seen recently.
I've been playing City Skylines, played a bit of that. I'm terrible at it. My missus, she got to 120,000 people and the game would not run for long enough not to crash.
Yeah.
She got pissed off with that and started again. She's now started again, and now she's been looking for comedy names for all her districts. So she's got one district called Faith Hill. She's got a district called Lincoln Park. She's got. I gave her a couple of recommendations, which was have one district called Glen Close. We have another one called Shire LaBeouf. And what was the other ones we had? I can't remember, but we've basically come up with stupid district names. Jonah Hill was another one. So if you guys can come up with any good names for districts or streets and towns, that's the way to go. City Skylines, love it to bits. We left my game running for too long and ended up with 4 million in the bank, and my city was still perfectly stable, so that was nice. But really good fun. I've been playing Prey as well. Prey's good fun. I'm planning on going back to it tomorrow night and give it a right good tanking. It's once I got past the annoyance of the Art Deco thing, which is just me. I'm a design monkey. I care about that kind of thing. And when I see somebody just doing something that it's not funny, it's not smart, it's just fucking stupid, and it's deriving. It's making something look derivative when it doesn't deserve to be. It's a better product than that, and it kind of to me I just felt like it sucked. I know they don't own Art Deco, Zane. I can see you nodding. I know they don't own it, but it's when you've got a world, you create this amazing world, and then you take their logo and you take their art style and then put Art Deco behind it. It doesn't fit. It looks stupid. It looks like some fucking idiot went, I've got this great font for this logo, but I've only got this one asset pack, and that's what I'm going to have to use. It doesn't work. So that annoyed me. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I don't like.
Nah, my argument is your use of the English language rather than what you're saying. I think it's if there were 15 games out there that all had 15 first-person shooters out there that were all Art Deco, then you could legitimately say this one is derivative. But it's being derivative of one other game is.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like, that's fair. However,
we need to cut to the nub of it, which is it looks like Bioshock and it's no Bioshock, and that's pissing me off.
No, that's exactly what it is.
Fair enough.
Well said.
No, it is. That's exactly what it is, because it pisses me off because the whole situation is that they've got this amazing art style. There's an amazing kind of creature design. It looks great, and then you've got this kind of little. You're like, just. Mm-hmm. It's not. My point is, it's not wrong. It's fine. It's just not necessary. And something that there's a whole bunch of designers in there have crafted this great thing, and it feels shoehorned, and that's what bothers me. It's kind of like. It's not even a fuck you to the guys like Bioshock, it's a fuck you to the guys that created this great world they've built. So that kind of bothered me. But once I got past that, and it is very early on, and it's not really thrown down your throat after that, it's a game. It's as I say, it's a Bioshock. It's you've got a guy in the radio who you can't identify who's helping you out. You've got a wrench. It just there's like it's not like there's the Art Deco is the element of Bioshock that hooks in. There's like 5 elements in the game.
Yeah, there's a lot. Well, it's kind of because of its own legacy. It's supposed to be not homage. What's the word I'm looking for? It's
pastiche.
A pastry.
Let's just go with homage. Let's just go with homage to System Shock, which is what led to becoming Bioshock. So they're all coming from the same stock route. And yes, therefore, giving it an Art Deco look does just tie it in a bit too fucking close to the whole thing. It's from that side of it, yeah, absolutely. They should have done something else. It shouldn't have been another Art Deco looking motherfucker. It should have been something different, just to kind of take it.
It's just Art Deco on a space station doesn't fit right. It just looks weird.
Yeah. But it does. It reminds you too much of everything else that it's trying to remind you of anyway.
Yeah.
Because that is the thing, the entire game is trying to draw you in on the idea of, if you like System Shock, then you will like this game. So then making it look a bit Bioshocky on top of that, you're just going to rub it in a bit too much here at this point. It's like
that's my beef.
Yeah, which I understand. I just like taking the piss out of you because you've been saying derivative for 2 weeks, and it's like that word doesn't mean what you think it means.
It fucking does, because how much more do you need? How much more of an illustration of derivative do you need than you've got a fucking wrench as your first weapon, a random stranger on the radio talking to you, you're in a scary situation and you've got to defend yourself with said wrench, then you get given skills and powers that you can fire with this hand and you've still got a wrench. That's fucking Bioshock. I'll tell you what, I will give you 100 quid if you can say to me, I will explain to you the first 20 minutes of Prey without using any tropes from Bioshock. And actually, if you could describe it to somebody and not describe space and say to somebody, here's the game, they go, it's Bioshock you're talking about. Of course they fucking will. You trolling cunt, look at the wee face.
It's a good game, this, isn't it?
Oh, you're the shithouse. You're the king of the shithouses. You're the master of shithouses.
No, it is absolutely derivative. Anyway.
I'm going to karate chop the fuck out of you and I'll see you next. Right. But yeah, so on the back of my rants about that shit, it is actually a fun game. I would say wait till it comes out to 30 quid or something. It's probably not full title value, but it is good. It's entertaining, and it's quite more survival horror than I expected. The jump scares are good. The sound design makes the game by a long chalk. The sound design is actually, I say the sound design is from a much better game, is what I would say about it. It feels almost like the game hasn't got the... I think the game's too bright to carry off what it's trying to do. See if they actually did the old tropes of pulling the lights and giving a little bit more strobing, made it a little bit darker. I think it would have a little bit more atmosphere about it, but it's quite bright. Mm-hmm. And if you take that bright kind of shininess and then have things jumping at you, yeah, you still get a fright, but if you bring that you can just crank it back maybe 2 or 3 kind of gamma points and you get this nice kind of moody look. I think then it would work a little bit better. But as I say, it's still good.
Look like Bioshock.
I guess but Bioshock itself was quite bright and kind of neon in places. But yeah, I think that worked quite well. Yeah. The other thing I've been playing, which is weird as shit, is a game I bought for Oculus called Aerofly FS2 Flight Simulator. Now, anyone who knows me knows I am fucking Mr. T. I fucking hate flying. Can't cope with it. Freaks me out. Don't like it. So I bought this Aerofly game, and you can fly any kind of plane from like a 737, 747. You can fly a Dreamliner. You can fly a Cessna. You can fly a fucking Uniwing. You can fly anything you want, right? And I was like, that sounds kind of fun. I think I'll try that out. And because I'm going on holiday for the first time in a long time, going flying, I'm thinking, I wonder if VR can give me some exposure therapy, right? And the cool thing about Aero FS2 is you can actually set the plane to automate and take off on its own, and you can set yourself in a passenger seat at the window, right? So I thought, how much can I actually accentuate this sensation? Because Oculus in beta now has twin audio, which means you can put your audio through your speakers and your headphones at the same time, which sounds rudimentary, but wasn't until recent. I can crank my subwoofer up. I've got a big fucking giant studio grade sub here. I can crank that to the 9s. My speakers don't make a sound, but I'm getting all the audio in my ears. So you get the vibration in the floor, all that, and you're looking out a window and you're seeing the plane doing this, and it fucking works. I get the rush into my chest. I get the kind of heart rate going up. It's fucking amazing. It's very, very cool. So I've been doing that loads and going, don't like it, 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 but just really enjoying it. It's fucking incredible. So I'm actually genuinely, even though it'll be different when I got on the plane, once I'm on the plane, they shut the door, I'm fucked, right? But in doing this, I'm excited about getting on a plane now.
It's got all of the panic and all of the cleaning bills, but none of the danger.
Exactly. So, but I'm genuinely thinking, I'm looking forward to getting on a plane. I mean, yeah, okay, when I got on that plane, it's going to be very different. I'm aware of that, but psychologically, I've already put myself through that pressure like 20, 30 times. And even the bonus is I can set a hotkey to turn the engine off the plane while being a passenger. So I just hit a button on my controller, and then the plane just goes nosedives, and I go, well, that's what that'll feel like. Yes. It's fucking awesome. Very cool. But that's one of my VR experiences for the last week.
And interestingly, VR used in a different way is a way that some people tend to not get over that fear, but just literally block it out.
Really?
Using the phone, see like the Gear VR.
Yeah.
So you just like put in headphones, put a movie on, and you're just in the big fuck off cinema, and you just block out everything. And it's like, you look like a complete tit, but you can't see anybody looking at you anyway. So
They can't see the fear in your eyes.
it's just literally just put yourself in another place. You know, you still get the turbulence. I don't know how you handle that exactly, but yeah, there is actually quite a lot of people that use VR to actually just block out the fact that they're on a plane in the first place.
That's
and
pretty
just
cool.
Sit and watch a movie, in like a blacked out cinema space, and they're using their Gear VRs, things like that, which is pretty cool.
Sweet. But yeah, so that's me been using my technology to kind of stop myself from shitting myself.
Awesome.
So moving briefly and quickly on to movies, what have you guys seen?
I was quite busy, I suppose, last week with the old cinema. I first of all went to see Guardians Volume 2. Has anybody seen that?
Yes, it's the only thing I haven't seen, but yes.
I'm going on Saturday to see that, but feel free to ruin the film, I don't care.
I won't ruin it at all. All I shall simply say is go and see it, which seems slightly redundant now that you're going to see it on Saturday. But yeah, it's absolutely tremendous. It's, I would say, potentially better than the first one. Apart from the music, it was could have, I don't know, the music in the first one was significantly better, I thought. But the actual story, the overarching story, I liked where it went with that. The writing and the comedy in places was absolutely fantastic, particularly with Drax. Had me belly laughing several times. It's a film that I could easily go and see again. So highly, highly recommended. What do you think about it, Zane?
I need to see it again. I think it was, at the moment, all I can say is it was quite unrememberable.
Ooh.
I should probably explain that when we got to the cinema, I purposely booked to see this movie on the last night that it was shown, and it was the second last viewing, and the place was still fucking packed. Obviously, a lot of people like this movie because
did you fucking hate that?
fucking packed. And right beside me, I have my lovely wife on one side, and on the other side, I have this fucking food magnet from fucking...
worst thing ever.
The single biggest fucking bag of popcorn that you could get, is just sat there, and it was fine through the trailers, absolutely fine. The second that movie started, the second that wee fucking Groot started doing his thing, the popcorn bag came out, and the hand started moving, and it just went rustle, 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 rustle. Russell. I actually wanted to turn around and ask, how the fuck are you chewing? Because there was no time for it. It was just constant, and this went on for an hour and 20 minutes.
Fuck, I'd have punched
just
fuck out of them.
Absolute fucking constant Russell. Russell. Thankfully, she was a quiet eater because she wasn't fucking chewing this shit. She was just swallowing it straight down. It was the only way this hand movement could have been so constant. It's like, I don't know, it's just a pipe in her mouth where it's just getting thrown straight down it. Her esophagus was doing absolutely no fucking work whatsoever in this.
That's why she was with her husband.
And it's just went on and on and on and on and on and on for, like I say, literally it must have been around 20 minutes into that movie, at which point the popcorn bag gets put down and I breathed a sigh of relief for a whole 3 seconds until the mobile phone came out and she started texting people, and I've got a fucking light just fucking giving it fucking bit of
I
Mate,
had to say something at that point.
I'd have slapped the fuck out of her.
I'd
have picked up my phone, typed a message in, going to fucking cut it out your bell end.
I was just fucking incandescent. This movie could have been the greatest fucking comedy piece it has ever seen. I couldn't tell you. I don't really know what the fuck was going on. Snake Plissken was fucking doing his thing, like, just, hi, how you doing? I'm your dad. I don't know. It all kind of resolved in the end, and everybody seemed quite happy. But other than that, I couldn't tell you what the fuck the movie was about. So
you want to come on Saturday with me?
I think there's a feeling I might need to see this again. And yeah, Zenzine just went right out the fucking window now that conversation's came up.
I think you're right though. You're right to do it there.
Bitch of a fucking. Drove me fucking mental.
Dean and I said, well, we're used to listening
to the point where we were sitting and the credits started and I started getting up out my seat. And the missus says, is there no after credits bits for this because it's a Marvel movie? I says, aye, that's what fucking YouTube's for. Come on, let's go. I just had to get the fuck out of that fucking place. So yeah,
I'm going at 1 o'clock Saturday. We're going for a couple of beers and we're going to go and see it Saturday. So you're welcome to join us.
No, because if I had that experience twice in a row, I'll never go to the cinema ever again. I need a break.
You won't, because I'll be dressed in all black, balaclava, and I'll fucking chokehold the bitch from behind. That is.
So I've also seen Alien Covenant this week as well, or last week.
I've heard bad things and good things.
It's I'm the same, almost the same point with it that I was with Prometheus. I've come out and went, oh, and that's basically the noise I made.
So you weren't blown away by it in any way?
Not in the slightest, no.
It's funny that because I was talking to Stay Unlimited and Stay Unlimited loved it.
Well, we know how his review of movies goes. So, it was just unremarkable. Underwhelmed by it. It was better than Prometheus, I think. But overall, I was just it's just not an Alien film as far as I'm concerned.
I'm looking for aliens again, yeah.
Well, there's aliens. It's basically the kind of the backstory of how the alien came to be. It's basically and you're like, well, if I heard somebody say that to me, I'd be like, God damn, that sounds like a good movie. But it's not. It's just, I don't know. I still don't know what it was that I didn't like about it. Not sure at all.
I watched my brother's kids the other night. I think it was Thursday night, so he could go and see it actually. And put his kids to bed, whatever time they went to bed. And I sat watching crap on TV. And when he came in, I was expecting him to be kind of buzzing about it. Wasn't particularly. And I was like, because my brother is like movie obsessed. But no, he wasn't buzzing about it. I think he went to see it again, but I've not heard his kind of reviewed opinion on it. Kev will go and see things 4 and 5 times, so I'll see what it comes up with.
He agreed with me on Facebook because I was like, Guardians of the Galaxy, great. Alien, meh. And he just said snap.
Interesting. But yeah, I've got to see Guardians Saturday, so you guys are welcome to join us. 1 o'clock in town, so if you want to come out, get a couple of beers and do that shit, you're welcome to join us. I watched the magnum opus that is Fate of the Furious. Honestly, a properly good, stupid slice of fun. Just nonsense bollocks. It knows exactly what it is, knows exactly what it's doing. Stupid shit about family, as Vin Diesel likes to call it. And it's good. It's nonsense. Just if you like a stupid car romp with stupid explosions, then go for it. Highlight being Jason Statham in the whole film is mega. He has a fight sequence where he's holding a baby, which is brilliant. It's just pure shite, absolute bollocks. But go and see it just because, frankly, it's bollocks and great. Loved it. I watched it and went, I can't believe all that stupid shit happened, and it was all right. But if you look for turn your brain off Sunday afternoon, pure fucking ultimate nonsense, you're good.
Oh, can't do it, man.
You won't think. There's a couple of Fast and Furious films aren't bad actually. They're not the worst films in the world. They're not that different from like Mission Impossible or anything else. This one feels more like Triple X5, but you know it's just daft shit. If you're looking for
can I quote you on that Fast and Furious is not that different from Mission Impossible?
In terms of content, it's pretty much the same fucking thing.
All right.
It just is. Don't get me wrong, it's not.
You're lucky I fixed this, or I would slap you right now.
No, I don't mean it. I don't mean the quality of the filmmaking. I just mean in the context of it's meant. Fast and Furious is meant to be about car racing, but it's turned into like fucking weird super spy thing, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's like the same quality as like Mission Impossible 3, for example, which I think is a really good film. But yeah, so Fast and Furious, Fate of the Furious, go and see it if you like stupid shit. Don't go and see it if you want to give a shit about it. There's my review. So quick snap news before we sign off then. Moving swiftly on. King Arthur is getting panned.
Yay!
Gutted about that. I do plan on going to see that tomorrow. I'm really gutted.
Empire gave it a 2. What do you call them? Ain't to Kill News gave it 1, which isn't so good. Yeah, they're usually quite kind of like forgiving of things being of their genre, and that was getting a 1, so that's not ideal. But go and see it, see what it's like. Emoji Movie's coming out, that can go fuck itself, and that's the last time we'll speak about it in this podcast. Thank you very much. I just needed to mention it so we can put a barrier up. Simon Pegg, Nick Frost.
If it also gets a 2, we might kind of bring it up again.
Aye, true. Simon Pegg, Nick Frost have just launched their own production company called Stolen Picture, and their first film is going to be called something. Oh, what was it again? I can't remember. I had it written down. I'll double check this. Blah 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 blah. Yep, it's a horror called Slaughterhouse Rules. They're producing it. So that's their new project, which is quite cool to see them work together. And I'm always happy to see Nick Frost getting a go, because I always feel like he left it along the side. Also, I guess finally, I'm not too worried about the other stuff. The Orville, which is a Star Trek type spoof sci-fi TV show, got its first trailer this week, which is Seth MacFarlane's live action thing. Looks piss, in my opinion. Don't fancy it.
Do you know what? It could be the greatest thing ever, and I'm going to say this is a personal thing. Like, you know, I need to kind of put that out there first of all. But it could be the greatest program ever, and I still couldn't watch it. This thing could be an absolute classic fucking masterpiece. But have you ever came across some people where you're just like, there's just some faces that you would just never tire of punching?
Seth MacFarlane?
Mm-hmm. And I don't mean as a person, I just mean as a face. There's something about the look of that man that I just really want to punch. It's like, absolutely love Family Guy. And I do find him genuinely a really funny guy. But I'm just like, no, I couldn't spend an hour looking at that face. Not without some sort of violence ensuing. It would cost me too much in televisions. It's a really weird, it's a really weird thing that you just look at a face and go, I want to punch that. But yeah, that's kind of what happens for some reason. So yeah, that was my thoughts going through the trailer.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, and it's the fact that it's like he doesn't do well in live action.
I don't know, because I can't watch anything that he's in live action because I just want to punch his face when I see it.
Yeah, I don't fancy that. Although Ghosted looks a little bit better. Did you see the trailer for that?
I didn't. No, I have to say.
Ghosted is like a kind of stupid two guys who don't know each other are kind of dragged into this kind of thing called the Underground, the Bureau Underground, and it's like a kind of X-Files kind of spoof up with Adam Scott and Craig. What the fuck's his name? I've got to say Richardson there. That's not right. He's our old drummer. Craig. Let's just check this out. Ghosted. Adam Scott.
I don't know. It's a 30-minute bio under the fucking
Craig Robinson
YouTube trailer.
But yeah, so it's Adam Scott and Craig Robinson, and it looks like it could be really funny actually.
Oh, him.
What? So that looks okay. Orville not so much. Also, we've got note on Donald Glover who's going to be producing a Deadpool animated series. That guy's fucking unstoppable, isn't he?
Apparently.
But my final note of the day, which is one of my favourite things I've read in quite some time, is the fact that you see someone got hacked the Pirates of the Caribbean source film.
Yeah.
I love how people write hacked on things when somebody just forgets to secure something. It's been hacked. No, you gave it to a company that copied it. That's not a hack, you fucking idiots.
Well, apparently typing in password 123 is hacking as well, so...
It is. We're all elite hacksaws.
Indeed.
But no, Pirates of the Caribbean got lifted, and the guys that stole it said, basically put a message out to Disney saying to like Bob Iger and stuff, saying, if you don't give us X amount of Bitcoin, we are going to release this film in chunks. And Bob Iger gave the best response he could and went, go ahead.
Yeah.
I think that's fucking brilliant. He's like, go for it. Don't care.
We don't negotiate with ourselves. I think it's
because that's what he did with Orange is the New Black with Netflix as well.
Yeah, I was going to say it kind of happened recently with Orange is the New Black, where it's like, yeah, we've got however many episodes it was, and it's like, yeah, give us cash, or we're going to release them. And they were like, go for it. Which kind of really makes sense in that case, because, well, it's go for it. Just go and stick them up on BitTorrent. Why not? Because even if you put up those first 6 episodes, they're going to have to come to us for the rest of them. So batter in, all you're doing is giving us a freaking awesome amount of advertising. It's kind of different with Pirates because it is like a one-shot thing. Like it's, do you know what I mean? It's just the one movie. Having seen, I think they put it wasn't even a trailer, but they had something. It must have been a good 5-minute segment of the movie in front of Guardians when I watched it, and that bitch hadn't started eating, so I actually got to see that. And I have to say, like, I mean, I'll give them money not to put it out. Like, you know,
it looks like the same. I don't know what I quite enjoyed the first one, in the sense that it was an action adventure.
Right up your street.
No, it was an action adventure, and I kind of went, that was all right. But I then watched the start of the second one, and went, this is exactly the same, and never wore my tits. So what's this, the 5th one?
Something like that. I lost the will to live. Never mind.
I thought the first one was an absolute perfect movie. It absolutely sat perfectly. It kind of ran perfectly. Didn't feel too long. It was funny. It was kind of slightly different. It was new. And then there was nothing new about the subsequent ones, and I've just completely lost interest. I will not watch this at all.
Yeah, don't give a shit. I hope they do release it so we can just go, I'll watch it in the house.
Yeah. So if they don't give you any money to stop it, to stop them putting it out, I'll give you money to stop the actual movie getting put out.
Aye, stop doing that shit. Well, shall we wrap up there?
Indeed. Why the hell not?
Indeed. So what's next week?
Next week will be, I do not know. Next week is a kind of tricky one because the week after is the day after Wildlands expansion gets released.
Yeah, more Wildlands.
So I think we'll probably need to take a look at that on the Wednesday in 2 weeks' time.
I'll say next week we do more tabletop.
Well, I doubt there's going to be enough content to do an actual podcast next week. So who knows? There may be a podcast next week, or we'll need to find something to play.
I say tabletop, man, all the way.
We may well do. We didn't talk about that at all during this, the whole tabletop simulator and breaking Dee's Steam virginity. And what an actual fucking faff it was to break his Steam virginity.
No, we played it last week. That was the podcast for last week. We actually did the episode for...
I played the game, but we didn't talk about the actual...
debacle?
Faff for getting it up and running. Yeah. Actually having to purchase a 20p game to actually be able to gift them a game in the first place and all that nonsense.
We can rant about that in the next one for sure.
All the fun behind the scenes shit. Yeah, so next week, there is a fairly good chance that it will be probably Tabletop Simulator. It will be possibly a certain snake oil vendor type based scenario.
Zane does have another one, but we'll talk about that offline.
We can talk about that offline. I do have an alternative option, but I think we're going to be playing cards in a virtual environment next week. And
I'm going full VR, by the way. I'm fucking doing it.
Hopefully it will be followable enough that we can put it up as an audio podcast as well, and still be able to have people follow along know what's going on.
Agreed.
We really need feedback on that. If anyone out there is listening to this, actually listen to the Cards Against Humanity one, tell us if it was a good idea or not.
It's not a bad shout.
Which you can do, while we're on to that, which you can do, because I want to kind of push this as well, on facebook.com/tab Podcast. T.A.B. Podcast. We are essentially any stories that are interesting us in between podcasts. We are kind of throwing up there, and would strongly encourage you, wonderful viewers, stroke audio listeners, to do the same. Join in the fun. You can comment on stories that we put up and tell us what you think of them. If you think there's any stories out there that you think we should discuss, then throw them up there. And generally, let's chat, folks. Let's talk. Let's get to know each other. You know you want to.
This is awkward.
Once again, facebook.com/TAB podcast.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Also, if anything we've said during the podcast has been completely erroneous, go fuck yourself, first of all, then come back and tell us why we're wrong and what we got wrong so we can get it right next time.
Not kids, just yourself.
Gotta be careful with that shit.
We do need to stress quite strongly that everyone involved with Tenuous at best does not in any way endorse or condone kid fucking. It was a joke.
Unless it's goats, in which case that's just funny. So yeah, you can get all of our stuff on www.tenuously.com. You can listen to the previous episodes in your browser. If you're looking for the podcast itself, just get any podcast app you can find. Type in Tenuous at Best. You can also type in T.A.B. Podcast as a search query, and you'll be able to find us. Just subscribe to us. You'll see the big red logo that's quite familiar if you're on the YouTube channel. At 10 at Best on Twitter, hashtag T.A.B. Podcast. If you want to say something on Twitter that we can look up and say, I don't know what the hell that guy's talking about, but yeah, that shit. So you can get us there. Myself, you can get me at www.ratworks.net, where we have some lovely new t-shirts in the store, including the classic Tenuous at Best logo. We have the Tenuous at Best Don't Be a Dick t-shirt. And we've got Native J, our kind of friendly chat room monkey, has also provided us with a Ratworks custom design in there as well. So get in there, get some T.A.B. merch on the go. If you like that sort of shit, even just have a t-shirt that says "Don't be a dick" on it, it's pretty cool. And that's pretty much that. Other than that, you've got Stereo Vandals, where the music for the intro was done by the lovely Stereo Vandals, myself and the bold D over there. So you can come and get us at www.stereovandals.co.uk. And I think that's most of it. The only important thing about all this, though, is the main man, the man with the plan, and the mighty beard is our Zane.
Huh? How the fuck am I supposed to follow that? I sit in my arse playing computer games. Sometimes it's funny. It's probably worth watching occasionally. Did I do it? Did I sell it well?
You did it. You made out of snake oil to the max.
Yes, if you like some sardonic sarcasm. I don't even know if those two things can be put together, but I try my damnedest to do so. You can find me at Zane Gaming. Well, that just went totally wrong. You can tell it's been a while. We really should do more podcasts, because this whole outro thing just never goes well because I don't get enough
we should
practice.
blame the market, because there's fuck all to talk about. I'm not going to sit here and talk about some guy on YouTube that upset another guy on YouTube. Fuck those guys.
Ah, exactly. Fucking piling nonsense. YouTube.com/Zane Gaming TV. That is XAINE Gaming TV is where you can find me. If you want to speak to me, I would normally say go to twitter.com/Zane Gaming. This time I'm going to say go to facebook.com/T.A.B. Podcast, because yeah, like I said, let's get to know each other.
Also, I would like to point out on T.A.B. it is not purely Zane's voice, so if something you don't like is upsetting you or offending you, it's most definitely me and not Zane.
Oh no, I would dispute that completely.
I'm trying to give you a buffer, asshole.
Anything you hear does not affect Zane Gaming directly. It's like, no, he's not the man that's been saying fuck kids about 4 times during this podcast.
So true.
Yeah, that's that buffer out the window. And on that note, yeah, so twitter.com/Zane Gaming.
Come join us.
Come and say hello. Come and watch the channel. I don't actually know what's coming up next on the channel. I have a few ideas. It's all been ruined actually by Horizon Zero Dawn. It was just too damn good and just so much fun, and it has broken my heart. But I need to recover from that, and we need to move on from it. So new content coming soon, and it'll be awesome. Trust me. Just do it. Trust me, it'll be fine. Don't worry about
Please.
it.
Please trust him.
It'll be fine. One other thing I forgot to bring up really quite early on is, we probably should have talked about it earlier, but I'm not sure about this whole lock or pause thing. Do you really think it still works?